just for the month of September, I just want to let y'all know that the reason I got these clothes on, if you have not seen, the reason why I got these camouflage pants on, right? I got these camouflage pants on is because I am declaring war. I'm prior military, and so I know what it means and what it looks like to get ready to go to war. We have had several drills and several times and several things that we have had to prepare for in order for us to be ready to go to war. And one of the things is that you have to have the proper clothes on. And so I wanted to come just to send a message not only to myself, not only to y'all, but to the devil himself, that I declare war. So for the month of September, I just want to preach from the series topic of This Means War. And in order for us to get ready for war, we got to first start with choosing the right weapon. That's our sermon topic for today, is choosing the right weapon. Choose the right weapon. I'm not sure about you. I'm not sure about how many of you are here or here online with us, but I haven't had a real good fight in a long time. I really have not had a really, Deacon Lee, I ain't had a knockout, drag-out fight in a long time. I haven't went to fisticuffs with anybody in a long time. I haven't had to square up with nobody in a long time. Now there has been many opportunities that was presented to me, but my daughters told me I didn't need to come. It's a warning shot if they listening. I haven't had, Reverend Smith, I haven't had a real good fight in a long time. It's been years since I had a real good fight. Minister Woodley, I haven't had to throw these hands in a long time. However, I do not allow these hands to sit idle without getting some practice every once in a while. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm saying, let me give you the definition of fight. Fight means to take part in a violent struggle involving the exchange of physical blows or the use of weapons. It's also considered a violent confrontation or struggle. When is the last time you had a fight? When's the last time you actually had to go to blows with someone? I'm not talking about an argument. I'm not talking about an argument with your spouse or argument with a coworker or altercation, but a fight where it was hand-to-hand combat. We're talking about fisticuffs. It's been a while. It's been a while. Me too. But that doesn't mean that we forgot how to fight. Every now and then, my boys think they've grown up enough to try me. And I have to let them know just who their daddy is. They try and poke their chest out and square their shoulders up, and I have to give them just that one good punch to let them know that I will still cave your chest in if you try me. Every now and then I have to remind them who I am. I like to say it like this: I'm the kid's kid, because that's what they call my daddy. I'm Shane's baby boy. That's his nickname. I'm Bruce and Charles and Ollie's nephew. I'm RL and Eddie's grandson. I have to remind people who I am. But see, in a physical fight, there are no rules. It's not like a sanctioned boxing match or karate match. No, this is a fight where everything and anything goes. Even when you go into a fight with a plan, sometimes it doesn't work out. Mike Tyson said it best. He said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And that type of fight, it takes strength, power, and skill. Fighting another person gets you winded. Fighting another person makes you sweat. Fighting another person makes you tired. This type of fighting is something you should train for and stay in shape for. Matter of fact, I can remember being in the military and being trained for hand-to-hand combat. We had to use these javelin sticks. We had to use these sticks to fight each other. And I can remember having to battle a buddy of mine. We became friends in basic training, and having to look at him as the enemy instead of my friend was one of the hardest things I had to do. Having to not hold back because he is someone I didn't want to hurt. The first time we squared up, I lost. I lost the first time because I was holding back. But I can remember my Drill Sergeant Jones, came to be 6'2", dark-skinned man, probably about 220, nothing but muscle, came to me and he said, the next time I see him standing in front of me, that he was not my friend. The next time that he puts him in front of me, I should treat him like the enemy. And the next time I got up there, I wasn't prepared for who was across from me. It wasn't who I was preparing for. It wasn't my friend. My drill sergeant had put someone else in front of me. Nobody I was friends with, no one I talked to, no one I was buddies with. He was bigger than me. My drill sergeant came to me and said, the fight you may enter may look like a friend, but it's not them you are fighting. It's the thing inside of them trying to kill the thing inside of you. I gave it my all. I went toe to toe with this guy, and everyone gave me kudos for giving it my all. I felt like I had lost to the guy across from me. But there was no clear winner. My drill sergeant told me that it wasn't my physicalness that made me get as far as I did, but it was the spirit inside of me that got me where I was. The only thing that came to mind was 1 John 4:4. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. He told me that my spirit outmatched his. And I'm just here to tell someone that thinks they're not big enough, someone that thinks that they don't have what it takes to stand up and fight, someone that feels that they are inferior, that your spirit will help your physical power go beyond what you think. Can I ask you a question? You be honest with me. You don't have to answer out loud, but who are you fighting? What are you fighting? What is causing you to make you think you can't win? I know. I just talked about fighting a physical fight. But the same is true when you are fighting spiritual fights. You can devise a plan. You can lift all the weights you want to. You can run on the treadmill. You can shadow box all you want to. But it's not until you enter the spiritual ring to fight that nothing matters. Pastor Jay, why do you say that? The Bible tells us we are more than conquerors. It says that God will prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. It tells me that I have the victory. It tells me that if God be for me, who can be against me? Everybody has a plan until they're punched in the mouth. And I just want to tell someone that they fight, that the fight that you're fighting is not a fair fight. The fight that you're fighting, the enemy will be bigger than you. The enemy may be stronger than you. The enemy may seem to be better equipped than you, but you can still win. You can still defeat the enemy in front of you. You can be victorious. You cannot go into a gunfight with a knife. You have to make sure that you are using right weapons. Here it is. Your fist aren't the right weapons for a spiritual fight. Your legs are not the right weapon for a spiritual fight. Your arms aren't the right weapon for a spiritual fight. Whatever you can grab is not the right weapon for a spiritual fight. In order to fight and win in a spiritual fight, you must have the right weapons. Let me put a parenthetical pause right here to suggest to someone that the enemy can sometimes look like someone you know. The enemy can try to get you off your game by making them look as if it's someone you love, someone you rock with, someone you have known forever, someone that you bought, that you thought, and they said they had your back. The enemy can disguise itself as a family member just to get you not to take the fight seriously. The enemy will use whatever and whoever to get at you if they allow him to. I know what you're saying. When the enemy shows up, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to mess up our friendship. I don't want to cause no problems. While you are trying to protect them, they are steadily punching you over and over and over and over again. And here you are still trying to hold on for dear life because you say you're protecting them. That's what we're dealing with today. That's what Paul is trying to tell us here in the second letter to the church of Corinth. Matter of fact, Paul had to defend himself in this 10th chapter. Don't miss it. They said Paul talked real big stuff in his letters. Some would say he was selling wolf tickets. Big and bad behind the pen he used to pen these letters. But when he arrived, he was quiet as a church mouse. He wouldn't make those same bold statements in person. Was quiet in front of the crowd. And this is where our dear brother is found, writing to the church of Corinth. This is what Paul has to do dealing with those church folk. Paul has to defend his authority that has been given to him by Jesus. Paul actually has to tell the church that he ain't no punk. It's right there in the first 2 verses where he tells them in so many words, don't think that I speak softly, that I don't know how to use what I have. That's what he says. This is what it says in the first 2 verses. He says, now I, Paul, appeal to you with the gentleness and kindness of Christ. Though I realize you think I am timid in person and bold only when I write from afar away. Well, I am begging you now so that when I come, I won't have to be as bold with those who think we act for human motives. That's what he said. Sometimes you have to tell people, don't think that because I pray. Don't think because you see me on my knees and my hands are clasped together. Don't think because you see this mic in my hand and I sing praise and worship. Don't think because I'm an usher. Don't think because I'm a deacon or a trustee. Don't think because I'm a minister. Don't think because I'm a pastor. That I'm weak, timid. Truth of the matter is, I am trying to save you from me. I may not be who I used to be now, but who I used to be ain't gone. Paul says, I'm hoping that you pick up what I'm trying to put down on paper. So I won't have to show you in person who I am. Paul has to defend his authority that Jesus has given him. And now Paul is not doing this in malice and not boasting about his authority. He is simply giving a notification that God only changed his name. He changed himself by following Christ. And sometimes we have to face difficult things around us. Can I help you today? Can I help you to know that sometimes those people and things you have to face, they are not the people you think you know. Sometimes those people can be used by spirits to try and get you to do or say something just to prove you're not as holy as you say you are. Here's how Paul helps us to learn to deal with those spirits. Paul helps us in this moment by letting us know the first thing you have to do is you have to recognize the fight you're in. Don't miss it. It's right here in verse 3. Verse 3 says we are human. That's the first thing. Paul says we're human, but we don't wage war as humans do. Get this. Recognize that you cannot do this by yourself. You have to recognize that your power is not enough. Recognize that you are human fighting a spiritual battle. And recognize that you are trying to fight physically with something that is not physical. You can't fight the way that you usually fight. You have to go into this fight knowing that this is not a fair fight. You have to recognize the fight you're in. You have to recognize that the people you're dealing with, that you have looked in the face over and over again, every day after day, that they may not be the people inside that you think. Because the truth of the matter is that the devil can use any and everybody to try and get you off of what God has called you to do. I'm not sure about you, but I've had experience when God is doing something in my life. He tries to come in and stir up old stuff. I'm talking about old stuff. He'll bring up old girlfriends. He'll bring up old friends from high school. He'll bring up old stuff, and he'll try and stir the pot. And I have to recognize that I'm not fighting against them. I'm fighting against the devil that's trying to keep me from getting what God has called me to have. He brings up old stuff. He brings up old stuff. He bring up old records. He'll bring up old battles you had in the past. He'll bring up your physicalness. He'll bring up your medical record. He'll bring up any and everything that he can. He will even bring people into your life to tell you that you can't do it. Wait a minute. Get this. He'll even bring people into your life that will make you think they are for you, but in actuality, they are stabbing you in the back. Preach, Barry, I'm trying. Recognize the fight you're in. Listen to what Paul says in the first section. We are human. That's enough by itself. Paul recognizes that the people and the church of Corinth are human. He recognizes that he is human. And so anything that will come up will naturally get you to be angry, naturally get you to be defensive, naturally get you to want to put hands on people, to cuss them out and tell them a little bit about themselves. But once you recognize who it is you're facing, you will understand that the only reason they want you to react like that is so that they can prove to other people that God, the God you serve, ain't really as powerful as he is. I don't want anybody in here to be the reason that somebody gets off of what God has called them to do because of something that led you to do something for what they were doing, trying to do to you. I don't want you to have to deal with that, which is why I pray for you every day. Because I know what it's like to go into work. And that person who's been talking about you, that person who's been trying to get on your nerves, that person who's trying to get you in trouble, just smile in your face like ain't nothing wrong. Like you don't know that it was them that told all that stuff. Can I help you today? When that happens, this is what I need you to do. Smile. You're right. It can be hard. Give them the best smile you got. If it's crooked, give them a crooked smile. If it's a half smile, give them a half smile. Whatever smile you have, give it to them. Don't say nothing to them. Don't react to what you heard. Don't do nothing to them. Just smile at them. This is what it does. It lets them know that you recognize, I know who I'm dealing with. Because the truth of the matter is that the devil cannot get to your praise if you just smile. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. If we start talking because we're human, he will be able to use our voice. But if you just swallow those words, smile at them, the Holy Spirit will come and interpret everything that you're praying to God for. And guess what? The devil can't understand it. I'm just trying to help you understand. You have to recognize the fight that you're in. Here's the second thing that he says. He says, we are human, but we don't wage war as humans do. I don't know if you get it. I don't know if you see it. But if you go back, if you have opportunity and you're like me and you like watching old war movies, you will see that the enemy, or that when we get ready to go to war, we start getting our guns, we start getting our clothes on, we start getting everything that we need, our hard hats, all of that stuff. And then we go and get into a place to where we are trying to surprise the enemy. We're trying to catch the enemy by surprise. We're trying to flank them from the left or from the right, or we're trying to set up people in certain spaces where we can booby trap them into when they come in. But we don't wage war like that. No, there's no need to booby trap the devil. There's no need to try and flank the devil. There's no need to try and dig a hole for the devil to fall in. There's no need to try and throw bombs at the devil. Here's why. Because there's a God who's in front of you. There's a God who's on the side of you. There's a God who's watching your six. God has covered you in every single direction. So if you just keep moving forward, God will continue to cover you. Don't go to war the way other people go to war. Don't try and match words with words. Don't try and match emails with emails. I know, y'all done sat there and typed that email over and over and hit backspace. I know, I didn't type the few of myself and had to delete them. I didn't even save one to my desktop just in case I had to send it real quick. I know. But it's okay. Don't go to war the way they go to war. You have to understand the fight that you're in. That's what Paul tells us. Here's the second thing, and I'm done. I only had 2 points a day, so we can go home. Last thing is, I want you to understand, is that after you recognize what fight you're in, you got to choose the right weapon. Choose your weapon of choice. This is what it says in verse 4. We use God's mighty weapons, not worldly weapons. to knock down the strongholds of human reasoning and to destroy false arguments. Here's one of my favorite movies, The Equalizer. The Equalizer is one of my favorite movies. Some of y'all females like The Equalizer for a different reason, but I like it for the action. Okay? Look at y'all. Y'all still giggling about that. I like the movie The Equalizer. I like it because he never, I don't even want to say his name, he never really has a weapon. In Equalizer 2, he was sitting on a train and he was pouring some tea. And he didn't have not one weapon. And the guy he was after in the very beginning of the movie had 2 guards with him that had guns and everything else. And this man came out of the train unscathed by using a teapot, a coffee mug, and some other stuff. Never got shot, never got cut, none of that. He chose the right weapon for the situation. I love also in these movies that when they get beat up, they beat up the person that's opposing them. He never takes that person's weapon. I'm going to rewind it so maybe you didn't catch it. Also in the movie The Equalizer, when he beats up who's ever in front of him and he knocks their weapon out of their hand, he never bends down to pick up their weapon to try and use it for what he's going through. Matter of fact, when he knocks it out, he don't pick up the ammunition. He don't get no extra knife, no extra gun. Now, I know what you're thinking. Every time I watch these movies, I say the same thing. Why didn't you pick up the man's weapon? You ain't even got a gun. Why did you leave it there? Can I suggest to you that the weapons that you may be picking up aren't the right ones? You won't know how to use the weapons because they're not yours. I would like to help somebody realize that the weapons you knocked out of the enemy's hands are not for you to pick up and use. What you heard is not for you to turn around and repeat. The tea you heard is not for you to spread. That is not the right weapon that you are supposed to use. What should I use, Pastor Jay? Use your word. Here it is again. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Use your prayer. Use your worship. Use your praise. Use your love. Here it is. Use your smile. Use your joy. Use your peace. Use your understanding that the battle that you're in is not yours, but it's the Lord's. Here's the answer. Here's what we were looking at. We were looking at verse 4, but listen to what Paul tells us in 5 and 6. We destroy every proud obstacle that keeps people from knowing God. Recapture their rebellious thoughts, and we teach them to obey Christ. And after you have become fully obedient, we will punish everyone who remains disobedient. I hope you enjoyed this little Sunday school message that I gave to you this morning. But can I just leave you with this? There's another movie that I was watching here recently. I am a Marvel fan. And the movie Doctor Strange came on TV. And the movie starts out with Doctor Strange having dreams about this young lady that he's always trying to rescue, but he always gets killed in the attempt to rescue the little girl. But in his reality, he was dealing with his own issues. He had just lost the love of his life to another man. He had just been through a battle that almost killed him and others. He is also being told that he's always trying to be the leader and never follow. Then in his reality, the little girl finally shows up. he has to save the little girl, but there is an evil spirit after the little girl. What he realizes is that the way to beat the evil spirit is not through what he has gained in knowledge and through experience, but it was through a book that contained all that he needed to defeat the evil spirit. Good morning, White Oak Springs. I hope the Lord blesses you real good. But they had to use the book against the evil spirit, which ended up defeating itself. Good morning again. I hope that you have a good day. But I just came to tell someone that what you need is in the book. The power you need is in the book. The weapons you need, it's in the book. The words you need, it's in the book. The prayers you need, it's in the book. The songs you need, it's in the book. The strength you need is in the book. And the peace you need is in the book. The love you need is in the book. I just came to help to encourage someone, to let you know that if you're fighting with the proper weapons, you will defeat the enemy. And guess where you can find all your weapons? In the book. God bless you. As we stand, I'm ready. I'm not sure about you. I need y'all. If y'all are able to help me, I am ready for war. Because what I will not allow the devil to do is attack anything or anybody that I love. And if you are dealing with some stuff, some situations, I know it gets tough, but you don't have to fight alone. You don't have to fight alone because you have help. But you also cannot try to go to war with the wrong weapons. You have to use what God has given you. Use your word. Use your prayer. Use your worship time. Use your praise. Use everything that he has given you. Listen, I'm gonna tell this story. The doors of the church are open. I'm gonna tell this story. This happened to me real life. This real life. I was facing some issues at work, and they were messing with me. It was a time where I was praying to God about something, and they thought that I was asleep. They thought that I was asleep. Now, you know, if anybody here has worked at the shipyard, you get found asleep. That's a problem. But they thought I was asleep. They thought I was asleep, and I was praying. So we had to end up doing an investigation. And we went to the investigation. We had to go back to the same place of where I was. And wouldn't you know it, when I walked into where I was, there was a feeling that overcame me. And the very thing they were trying to write me up for, they couldn't even stay in a room with me. Because I had been praying in that same room for a week. And by the time the investigation came up and they walked into the room and I started to feel the spirit, they turned around and walked back out. Can I help you? Prayer is the key. Worship is the key. Praise is the key. It will unlock a lot of stuff in your life if you recognize who you're fighting against. Use the right weapons. Use the right weapons. This is your chance, your opportunity for you to come and join our army. Join God's army. If you are dealing with some war, you're dealing with some spirits, you're dealing with some things that's going on in your life, this is your chance, your opportunity. 1, to receive Jesus Christ as your Savior. 2, for you to be able to come and be a part of his great army. 3, if you're looking for a place to come and receive help and to become a greater person in Christ, this is a place for you. I would love to be your pastor. We would love to be your family. This is your opportunity, your chance, your moment to come and to give your life to Christ. This is it. Whether you're online or you're here in the building, this is your chance, your opportunity, your chance, your opportunity.